Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO stream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan. On this Friday, got internet solved today. We got a big weekend ahead. We just announced a live stream preview for content creators and press for Monday to take a look at the next race that'll be coming to Dungeons & Dragons Online. We got a big bonus weekend and a whole bunch more. Thank you, everyone, for being here on this Friday afternoon. And if you're a first-time visitor to the show, we're live every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. This is why we're called Fridays at 4. And it's really a chance to just kind of hang out the DDO community, do some Q&A. If you always want to just kind of throw a question at me and demand an immediate response, I will do my best to answer everything I can. And that's where we are here today. And that's the show. It's been a busy week, a shorter week and a busy week. Hope you had a good one. Let me switch on over to the news. Wait, what's this thing? Huh. Anyway, so the first thing I want to mention, if I can find it, except I didn't even bother to put it up, so nice prep work me. Let me look at my chat quick while I take care of that. One of those Fridays. All right, let's post this up. For this is what I wish to speak about. I accept you cookies. I accept any and all cookies. I prefer chocolate chip. Okay, so starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday. That's this Monday, June 3rd. We're going to be opening Lamania for an exclusive invitation-only preview to press and content creators. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means. To take a look at our next race and our next iconic hero coming to Dungeons & Dragons Online with the magic of Myth Draenor expansion. So we sent out invites this week to said press and content creators, and we've been hearing back from a bunch of folks. I know that there are folks out there, especially probably on the Twitch and YouTube side, who are like, oh, you didn't invite me. It's probably because I didn't have your contact information, and or I don't really quite know about you, or I don't know that you've got interest in this sort of thing. So we've got a list of, I guess it's 80-some people that we ended up inviting. So we did get a pretty wide list this time around, but we're always looking for future names to add to the list. It looks since I made the announcement about an hour ago, I've got a couple of messages on my DDO forums inbox that I'm sure will be adding to these kind of previews in the future. But if you're a streamer out there of let's say anything more than maybe a couple of people watching your show, and you have the time to maybe show up on a 7 p.m. Eastern on a Monday night to do this kind of thing for your audience, hit me up. Pretty good chance that you'll be able to get in. This is also, I do expand the definition of content creator a little bit, and that's why I use content creator instead of, say, live streamer preview, which I know some people like to use for shorthand. It's because I like to include someone like a couple of the DDO wiki editors, for example. And I know that there's a couple other people who are maybe a little bit exceptions, but at the same time, it totally makes sense to give them a little bit of a early access to our Lamania preview. Here's what's relevant to you, though, if you're not in on this thing, and that is that invitations have been sent out for the Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern start for this preview. Yep, that's your Strimtoms and Voodoo Spices and Cozy Beans and Nimvins and all that of the world. They all been invited. And then on Tuesday, at 11 o'clock Eastern, we're going to move from a private invite preview to the general public preview. So come Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern, all y'all can go take a look at our upcoming next race for Dungeons & Dragons Online. So 11 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, June 4th, is going to be the general preview, and that runs until 5 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, June 6th. We're going to have release notes about said thing that I'm not naming over on Tuesday, and of course people are going to get a whole lot more information from the live stream previews and content and press previews on Monday evening, but that's what's up. So that's one of the bigger plans here we have for next week. Probably the biggest piece of news related to this thing. I thought that was pretty cool. We've done a couple of these. We did one for Isle of Dread. We did one for Tabaxi. I guess we've done a couple of these kind of press previews, but it's been a little while, and it's neat to be able to do one of these again. Also, hey, Cozy. Nice to see you there. I know you're invited. Same you, Tavern Tales. And Darius Gaming, you probably should hit me up, because I could probably get you on. So. Remind us about all of the things I shouldn't spoil. Well, I probably shouldn't spoil too much about Myth Draenor. I probably shouldn't say about what the race is going to be. You already know about the archetype, though. The Wild Mage. We saw that on the last Lamania preview. Not this week, but the week prior, if my timing is correct. And that's what's up. And I know there's a couple of people out there who have done a little bit of kind of data mining and such, so I hear that there are some rumors out there that some people already know what's up, but I'm not telling you until Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you'll learn it all then. So, alright, next bit of news. This week, we had Chonkfest 2024. Year of the Dragon May is now live. So, if you go to Zathrall and the Eberron Hall of Heroes, you too can pick up this ground-bound green dragon. Otherwise known as the Chonky Dragon, is what the players seem to be saying about it. And it was really fun this week. Wednesday was kind of a rough day inside of the office because we had long downtime and we had some issues getting the world back up right away when we were intending to, so it went a few hours late. But it was kind of neat when we did bring the worlds live. I guess it was, about 6 o'clock? 6-ish on Wednesday? There was a little bit of spontaneous player fun, where everyone was in the Hall of Heroes dancing to dancing with their ground-bound green dragon mount and having a little bit of Chunkfest 2024. That was a fun time, and I really appreciate it. So, you have through June 25th to get this ground-bound green dragon mount for yourself. And then after that, it'll be the next Year of the Dragon gift, the one for June. And you can find the full list of all we're going to be doing here on DDO.com. The next one up is the Dragon Hatchling Pet. That'll be little dragon creature companion. And then Blue Draconic Wings, which we'll have more about, including some imagery when the time comes. But get this mount right now. Why not? It's free. Alright, other bit of news is we did release update 67.3 this week. You can, besides the Year of the Dragon gift, we are extending the April Year of the Dragon claim window as well. This is going through Tuesday. Do I have that right? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday the 4th. So, this is really due to a couple of downtime issues and an immediate, if I recall, redemption issue with the Curate Your X Pack thing at the start of the April claim period. So we've created what's called what we're kind of calling a makeup NPC. So in the case for Year of the Dragon, where we do want to give people a little extra time to redeem this stuff, we've got an NPC in the Hall of Heroes, and that person is Zathrall's assistant named Trillia. You can find him next to Zathrall. And if you don't have that free X-Pack, what are you waiting for? Because you have through Tuesday. Once the game worlds go down on Wednesday, we're done. But it's a free X-Pack, so you should probably make sure that at least all of your accounts and your friends' accounts have it. Let people know. We did also fix an issue with the spell swaps for VIPs in public areas. Corrected an issue, well, kind of. No, actually, we didn't correct that at all. What am I talking about? We corrected one cause of gnomes getting stuck in a rocking animation, and then we introduced a new one. And we're working on that one here for this next patch. We've also made a compatibility update to OpenAL sound integration. This one, too, is suspiciously perhaps causing us an issue. We're aware that some in-game voice chat right now for a bunch of people is not functioning as it ought. It's typically manifesting in either scratched out audio on the part of the sender or just the sender's voice chat not coming through to the receivers. And that is an active investigation underway as well. At the moment, I don't know exactly what's up with it, but I'd expect that as soon as we do have a fix in for that, we will get that out as soon as we can. We fixed up an issue with Violet Peregrine, fixed some string table errors in the Warlock, fixed an issue with the Model Githyanki Astral Ship Creature Companion sales, and an issue with the Astral Ship Creature Companion collar that is now properly changing color based on what you do. So that was this week's patch. We don't currently have a patch set for next Wednesday, but depending on the outcome of some of the things I just mentioned, it's possible we could fit something in. Otherwise, it'll be available as soon as we can. I would think maybe something like the week after that. I did want to call out, I know I've been mentioning this a little bit in recent weeks, but it is worth mentioning that today is May 31st, and tomorrow is June the 1st, and that means the new VIP Loyalty Reward Program will be starting tomorrow, the next benefit. So starting the first month completed begins on June 1st. So anyone who either remained VIP or became VIP in May has already received their first time sign-up bonus of 5 bonus shared account storage slots, and then come Saturday you're going to get 500 DDO points. You will need to speak to the NPC, is my understanding, in order to claim that reward, and that's standard behavior there. But that means that the people who are VIP in May are going to be furthest along on the track here. So if you wait until after the 1st to become VIP, then you'll get that first time sign-up bonus, and then the first month completed reward will be available to you come July 1st. So if you don't want to wait a month, or if you want to be on the leading edge of this VIP loyalty reward program, may I suggest maybe becoming a VIP today, because you don't have much time left. Something like 7 hours and 46 minutes, I think. Something like that. I did want to quick call out that we are doing a little thing for Pride Month with our weekly coupon this week. We do have basically red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple hair dye that you can get for free with coupon codes Pride Red, Pride Orange, Pride Yellow, Pride Green, Blue, Purple, 2024 at the end of it. And you can get all of them, you can get one of them, you can get none of them. Up to you. And that's through June 6th. So it was the original plan for this weekly coupon was we had one coupon that was going to deliver all these things. We tested it, and it worked for me, and it didn't work for anyone else. So we're working on a bug as to why sort of the list version of our coupon system is not currently redeeming things correctly. But we'll get that fixed, and for now we just have them as individual coupon codes then until we get this fixed. So what else should I mention before I head in game? Maybe do a little chat. Let me mention the bonus here. We got a +10 treasure hunter boost, and that's through Sunday, June 2nd. What does a treasure hunter boost do? It gives you a +10 to your loot rolls. Mostly impacts random loot, generally does not impact named loot, and it's pretty simple. There's a loot table that gets generated when you for all the chests in a dungeon, and it's 10 higher than you rolled through Sunday. So if you rolled a 10, it'll be a 20. You rolled a 50, it'll be a 60. If you rolled a 90, it'll be 100. And that doesn't really mean anything because those rolls are not public facing. But what that means in practice is that you'll get better stuff in general. I mean, you could still get a 10, well, 11 if you roll a 1. But it means that, for example, generally there's like a rare loot table that you get above rolling 100. And the odds of that happening are much higher through Sunday. Roughly 10% higher. And, no, actually more than that. Whatever. No, that's right, 10% higher. So, that's what's up. Does it increase the chances on a gibbers? No. In general, named loot, and there are a few rare exceptions throughout the game, generally based on older loot systems and older content that perhaps used a different loot generation system than the standard one that we're using today. But for the most part, almost all named loot in DDO operates on a percentage boot chance to get when you open the chest. So, and that percentage goes up based on normal, hard, elite. Then you get a little bit of a bonus for Reaper, as I understand it, as well. I don't know if I'm qualified to really go into much more detail than that, but named loot's percentage doesn't change with these treasure hunters boosts. Now, the elixirs of discovery, it does. Those explicitly say so. But the treasure hunter boost is generally better random loot. More effects, better effects. Get the jackpot a little more often. And that's the news. Happy early birthday, Nimvind. Claim every month, or you will be postponed. It's true. This is a login reward program for VIPs, so it does require you to log in every month to claim your reward, if being on the bleeding edge of it is a priority for you. We don't actually have rainbow color hair dye. We have singular color hair dyes in a rainbow of colors. Maybe if we ever get chromatic dragons, huh? Dark Wolfer, a little confused about the VIP claim time. So at these, it's in the, let me actually bring up the page here, because it'll go into how this all works. So our VIP loyalty reward program is a new login reward program that started May 1st. And you can claim the latest reward which updates every month based on how long you have maintained your VIP. So you'll progress along this track essentially, and if you decide for whatever reason to drop your VIP and then resubscribe in the future, you'll pick up where you left off, and it is granted at the first of every month. So then you have from the first through whatever the end of that month is to claim that month's reward, and then you'll be eligible to increment to the next reward on the track on the first of the following month. So if for some reason you were unable to log in from, say, June 1st all the way through June 30th, and you didn't log in until, let's say, July 17th, then you would not skip ahead on the track. You would get the next thing in line. So that's how it works. And it's specified in the fact here. Five years you've been an affiliate in Nimvind? Really? Gosh. You know, I was thinking about that just the other day in regards to Twitch, because I've been doing this long enough that I remember when Twitch was Justin TV. And I was like, man, we're really there. We're there, people. People been live streaming for a decade now. How weird is that, huh? It feels new. But 10 years, that's kind of a long time, depending. So. When is our Myth Draenor pre-sale? I don't have any information I can announce today on that, but stay tuned. It will clearly be coming pretty soon. And we do have our preview of the next race and Iconic Hero on Monday. Similar to what we saw in the last Lamania preview as well, there will be some pre-purchase items in the preview, and you'll really just kind of hang out in the test dojo and do whatever you need to do there. Are we going to release an official cinematic trailer for Myth Draenor? I have heard that one is in process. At the very least, we've got some kind of teaser trailer thing that we're working on. And yeah, archetype, new race, and a new iconic. Not bad, huh? So, I understand what you're saying technically, hands for eyes, but remember that this isn't a program based on how long you have been VIP, but rather it is a login reward program that increments every month for as long as you were VIP. And it, in some ways, sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not, due to your kind of positioning of it, which is, you let's say you paid for a year of VIP, and then something comes up like a family emergency and you can't log in for a few months. Will you be, quote, unable to get those things you missed? Well, you haven't missed anything. If you've missed, well, I guess what you've missed is the opportunity to be further along the track that you would be had you not taken part in the login reward program. But you'll still get the next thing. So if you were on first month completed, the next time you'll be on the second month completed, the next time you'll be on the third month completed. And the mechanism by which that is granted is specifically to log in once per month to be furthest along the track. So you won't miss anything. Um, but if you're looking to eke every inch of potential out of that VIP subscription, I'd encourage you to log in once every 30 days and at least for a quick visit to that NPC if you can. Am I able to say if the new race is something we have already seen in DDO? I probably shouldn't say something like that. I actually had a pretty clever little bit that I was gonna do as a hint, but only a few old schoolers might remember. I don't know if I want to say it out loud because I'm afraid it's just going to be too obvious and people will be like, "Oh, okay, well why don't you just say that then?" So I'm going to keep it to myself. Next Friday, remind me and I'll tell you what I was going to do. Greenber showered? Yeah. I don't know, Arturium. If the next race is going to blink like the Tabaxi is, I'm going to say probably, but I don't actually know that yet. I will have to look. I will have to look. I don't know. All right, I think I'm pretty caught up on chat. I would mention, I was all optimistic last Friday about live streaming to both YouTube and Twitch, but then when I went back to look at the archived video of the show and I saw the kind of framiness that it was introducing because my computer's GPU was just struggling trying to render two video streams at 60 frames per second. Wasn't an internet bandwidth issue, it was a video encoder rendering issue. And so unfortunately I'm back to square one in terms of only being able to stream to Twitch. Because the kind of framiness you saw in client on last Friday's show was not actually what I was seeing. It was only what was coming through on the stream, and that was kind of a bummer. So Monday we have to watch someone else's stream to see what the new race is, correct? Well, you don't technically have to watch. I believe we've got some podcasters invited, so you could listen. And we've got some bloggers as well, so you could read. And we have press, so you could read. But yes, you will need to participate if you want to participate. And yeah, within 12 hours of it, well, I guess If we do 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday and then open up at 11 p.m. Eastern, so we're looking at 16 hours later, you will be able to just see it yourself. I should totally be able to expense a new video card. Telecounting that chat approved the expense. That sounds great. I will. I'm sure it'll work. What else should I get? No, here we go. And no, I have not mentioned when the pre-purchase campaign will begin for Mr. Nor. That's information that I just can't broadcast here today, but we'll have more information about that pretty soon. All right. Yes, my kitty is saying hello. So I don't want to hint about the race because it's going to be too obvious if I'm not careful, and I don't want to spoil it. Somehow, so far, I've managed to not spoil it. Although you did get the next race out of me. Remember that? Was that, a month ago or whatever? I actually was looking at that bit of live stream footage afterwards, and I was like, oh man, you got busted. Chat busted you into dropping secrets. Totally happened. You pesky kids, I would have gotten away with it too. Alright. It's not a kitty, it's a baby lion. You're not wrong. This is one big kitty. Miss Elizabeth Bennet is one big kitty. What am I doing? Let's head to the in-game. No, I don't think Lizzie was the model for our ground pound green dragon mount. I love that pot, though. I'm in Isle of Dread. Why am I in Isle of Dread? Mostly because last week I ran through the Update 67 stuff, so I didn't want to 100% repeat myself today. Plus, I'm working my way through sagas, because this is still my, my Dragonlord, and I reincarnated, so I need to get all my sagas and completions back. And I want to get a bunch of cards. At some point I'm going to try to record, when I do get, well, my plan is basically to run all the sagas, build up enough to get, I don't know, a half a dozen decks or so, and then open them all up on the live stream and do it that way. So I think that's probably what's going to end up happening here, whenever that time comes. So. Now, let me open up, where do I can't remember what all quests I did. I did do that one though. Okay, so, where am I next? Yeah, okay, it looks like I have not yet run Trouble with Tar Pits, so that one will be next. Let's do that. Am I a pure class? Yes, I am. I tend to be a pure class player in general. I will multi-class occasionally, but I'm really kind of I do the same thing in pen and paper, too. I know that there's a lot of benefits to multi-classing, and I'm totally... That's fine. That's cool. But I've just always been... I want all from the one class, and so let's just do that. And so that's really where I tend to land on this sort of thing. Have I memorized all the quests, or do I read the dialogue and do them new? Sadly... I cannot say I've memorized all the quests. I've run all the quests enough that I should have them memorized. But, you know, you've run so many quests in DDO over so many years, and I just can't keep it all straight. It tends to be usually after I make a mistake. I'm like, oh right, you did that last time and told yourself not to do that. And so that's, it's a learning process, mostly through mistakes. Let's put it that way. Mistakes were made, lessons were learned, XP was gained. Got some loot. Fought some stuff. But in this one in particular is just, yeah, pure class fighter. the moment, like I say, all in on Dragonlord, a little bit on Stalwart Defender as well, little dip into Tabaxi. And I'm Fear of the Wild mostly as well, with a little dip into Legendary Dreadnought, just for more hit points, a PRR, MRR, Tactics DCs, because I've got some tactics stuff going on in here, and a little bit extra hit points with the points that I had left over. I have to admit, Dark Wolfer, because other people have really been doing the brunt of the posting about Wild Mage, I don't know that I can remember the answer to your question, but I think that is correct. I think it is correct that Wild Mage levels are not added to class spell levels, but class spell levels are added to Wild Mage levels. I think that's true. I think maybe that's true.
This bubbling tar pit is strewn with rocks that can be jumped across, though falling in is not recommended.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me get my cam window back up. There we are. And while I'm at it, there we go. Sorry, I didn't even notice that it wasn't up. I was recording some of Chonk Fest 2024. I didn't want to have my camera in the footage. Miss Elizabeth Bennett was so mad at me this morning because the human screwed up big time. Normally I put food in her dish before I go to bed, as I have to, and then I feed her as soon as she decides I need to wake up, which I have to. But yesterday, last night, I was just busy, I was distracted, I had all sorts of stuff going on, and I went to wash her food dish before I went to bed, and then I left it in the sink. And, yeah, and so she woke me up at like 6 o'clock in the morning going, "Yo!" And I was like, what? What do you want? Go back to bed. Not realizing, of course, that she's just desperately trying to tell me about the impending doom. My food dish is not there, human. And it wasn't until I woke up and I realized my error that I was like, oh, well that explains it. So I had to apologize to my cat. I'm sure she understood. Seems like the weather is real nice outside in Boston. Sure is. It was really hot this past week, but just the past couple of days, it's all of a sudden got really cool. So it's beautiful out there. It should be a beautiful weekend. So, to your point, Dark Wolfer, I believe... I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. Was it Steel Star or Torque that posted the Wild Mage archetype tree in Lamania forums? Whichever, I think it was Steel Star, maybe? You know, we do explicitly say that one of the goals of the Wild Mage is to facilitate some multi-classing in that too, so... although we certainly want to make sure the pure class experience is also good, it's, you know, the idea that, well, maybe a bunch of people are going to multi-class into it is totally fine, part of the design. Sadly, I don't think so. I can't see your name right now. Luna Rose Dragon wants to know if there's ever going to be an option to automatically go from 1 to 20 when undergoing an epic reincarnation. little bit of context for those who aren't aware. It's common for some players to want to do both an epic reincarnation and a true reincarnation at the same time. They, you know, hit level 30, go back to 20 with the epic reincarnation, then go back to level 1 for a true reincarnation. And because there's 2 reincarnations happening, one after the other, and the reincarnation system is essentially, basically deleting your character and then recreating it. There's a process by which you have to undergo the level 1 to 20 enhancement pick and process to level up, even if you're just going to turn right around and undergo a true reincarnation and go back to level 1. We've long wanted to do something about that, but it sort of goes against one of the fundamental ways that the reincarnation system works, which is that it can't bring back the information that you just were to, like, say, auto-level up, because it doesn't know what that is anymore, because you just nuked it, because you just reincarnated. So that's essentially why it is the way it is. So for those folks who do want to epic reincarnate and then true reincarnate, you do have to do the double one there. And hey, depending on how comfortable you are with the process, it can be fairly short, because it doesn't actually matter what you pick, because you're just going to reincarnate anyway. Well, actually, that's not true, because you got to worry about your class levels and stuff. But assuming you're just, you know, right, because you can't change class, so it would just be pick whatever, get through the process, TR, and then do what you actually want to do. The only thing you're really going to... There are a few things you want to consider. Like, you're going to want to consider your alignment, depending on what it is you're going to reincarnate into. That's probably the biggest one.
This tablet is carved with crude ogreish runes. It looks to be a sort of journal kept by the High Shaman.
I mean, I recognize that, you know, well, just redo reincarnation is theoretically an option, but, you know, seems somewhat unlikely. Maybe someday we'll rebuild the reincarnation system, but I would expect that to be an enormous project. What about choosing a preset path? I mean, essentially, I didn't want to say this out loud because I'm not actually sure that it's true, because I can't remember the last time I did it. I tend to just, because I make characters a lot for work, you know, money and things like that, I've gotten pretty good at just sort of good numbers getting through the process. But if I recall, you can do the pre-made paths, right? When you epic reincarnate. So, like, let's say that I'm a fighter and I am level 30 and I'm epic reincarnating and I need to do the respec to 20. You can choose one of the pre-made paths, can't you? And if so, then you can just do that and just hit the button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, all the way up to 20 and call it done. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I guess I would need to see whether that's actually the case or not, but I think that's the case. Can't? Okay. Well, the Cordovan method is click the button that's closest to your mouse pointer. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's lowering the numbers. And don't worry about it. You can load through that 1 to 20 in less than 10 minutes. Do a TR on stream. Oh, that would totally be great. Could show off the ER TR process. But I think there's been lots of videos showing that kind of thing. I don't think there's any shortage of reincarnation videos in the game. Well, DevHack's luck again, I guess. Look at that. Not particularly useful in my Dragon Lord fighter, of course, but, you know, it's alright. Okay, here we go. We did not include pink in the hair dye. Well, we specifically went for the colors of the rainbow. So Roy G. Biv. We'll have more information on how you can acquire the Wild Mage, Iconic Hero, and new race when we are ready to announce our pre-purchase. I really can't speak to that today, and I wouldn't want to make a commitment that I can't live up to. So let's just kind of hang off on the info there in terms of how you will get the Wild Mage. I mean, yeah, I think most people understand where this is going to be available, but we'll have that info soon. Oh yeah, here we go. Nicely done, Lizzie. Here we go.
Is the Tar tribe's high
So
shaman.
he's just right in the...
As the chant completes, monstrosities made of tar and
I
flame
think
rise
that's
and
the
attack.
shroom that everyone wants.
Oh, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Very good. Rah. Maybe I should pay less attention to the cat and more attention to my fighter. Or not. What she really wants is me to take her outside. She's like, you know, tell all those live streamers that I don't care what they want to see. I want you to take me outside. Tough. Do it, human. Yes, I actually felt pretty bad, I have to admit, because, you know, cats base a lot of their security on access to food, right? So when they know that they have access to food, they feel pretty comfortable. And the idea of the human just sort of leaving her dish in the sink overnight is pretty awful, you know, if you're a cat. So I understand. I understand, but, you know, at the same time, I don't think you're actually going to starve to death. Yeah. Well, all right. done. Next. The Tar Triceratops. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. I like a lot of the Dread quests. And by the way, this, I think, you know, for people who have been talking all since the Curator X-Pack cache went live, you know, what's the X-Pack to get? I'm going to say Dread. If you don't have Isle of Dread, you should get that. I mean, there's lots of good options, so pick whatever you want. But I would say Isle of Dread's a pretty good one, so... I'm sure. I'm not a spellcaster. In real life, just like in pen and paper, just like in DDO, I'm gonna say I'm a cleric. Not because I'm a doctor, nor some kind of, like, you know, religious scholar or anything, but cleric is more my style. I've never really played casters in tabletop D&D based video games. I played it. I mean, I played a little bit of casters here, but mostly just for internal knowledge and to kind of sort of know what I'm doing. But I'm just not a big caster player. Fighters, clerics, rogues, maybe the occasional ranger or something like that. That's really more my style. I would say Feywild is a solid choice as well. Really, it's going to come down to, I would take a look at the loot lists of each expansion and decide which one your character wants. In terms of whether it's, say, Dread Ravenloft, Saltmarsh, Feywild. Menace of the Underdark, and Shadowfall Conspiracy, I believe, are the 6 we have available. Everything except for Vecna.
The center of the tree has been transformed into a vast multi-level complex. Guards rush forward to stop your incursion.
It's been pretty fun. I don't know if you saw my son just on camera there a little bit, but he rolled up his, I don't know if it's his first for the summer here anyway, D&D character recently for tabletop and D&D Beyond, and we're gonna go and play some D&D this summer. It'll be pretty fun. What did you say your character was? What was the story behind it? The airship guy? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, like this king destroyed the dragon airport.
Yeah, that's right. He was basically like a TSA agent at an airship airport.
A dragon airport.
Yeah, a dragon airport. Okay. And then how'd you get kicked out? Do you remember that?
They turned it into a raccoon sanctuary.
Okay. He was running a dragon airport and turned it into a raccoon sanctuary, and so he got kicked out. Oh, the king turned it into a raccoon sanctuary. Okay. All right. I can dig it. I can dig it.
Yeah, also the king is called Jim.
The king is called Jim. All right. Sure, why not? This is going to be a homemade campaign anyway.
You hear the unexpected sound of chimes.
So, I'll be DM. I think anyone who knows me... You know, I don't even have to do this. Are I supposed to... Oh, I don't have to take care of this spider. That's right. Speaking of, hey, you run these a bunch, do you remember them?
Strange scene. You find yourself under attack. The nearby spiders grow restless, no longer alone by the chimes. The chimes soothe the spiders nearby.
Oh, let's just... Is this just birds? Yeah, just birds. Okay, so I don't actually need to do this one then. So I won't. Oh, thanks, Nimvind.
The nearby spiders grow restless. No longer.
I'm gonna kind of
lulled
roll
by
with the
the
story
chimes.
that my son talked about with that sort of airport sort of thing. Should be we can build a story off that for sure. So it'll be fun.
Roused from their toil, some of the spiders attack.
Well, you don't hear that too often, Belgorod. No, nothing. It's okay, I don't mind. Well, I recognize that I'm not, you know, the R10 meta leader in DDO. But, you know the whole broken clock right twice a day thing? That's this guy. Okay. Up. Did I get the result of the voting for the new monster? I did. I think we are keeping it under wraps, however. I will say it's not particularly close. People were pretty strongly opinionated on it.
You hear high-pitched voices calling for help from somewhere ahead.
I think we will end up kind of saying, hey, this is based on the community vote, but I think we want to keep it under wraps until we're ready to debut it. True. So I've always been the same way. People are talking a little bit in chat about kind of alignment restrictions and how closely you require alignment in your campaign. I have, even going all the way back to first edition, back when I was about my son's age, I read about the alignment in the first edition manual and I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. And so I just didn't. It's been fine since like 1983, so I guess I'll be okay. Not really a big fan of alignment in general. It serves a mechanical purpose, I suppose, so that's fine, whatever. You know, I'm not gonna be too passionate about it or anything, but in my campaigns, I will reinforce that, you know, if you're a strong, tough character, you can't suddenly, for a couple of sessions, go into Looneyville, etc. But for the most part, you know, unless you're maybe some kind of lawful good priest trying to kill innocent people or something like that, which really doesn't happen in my campaigns, pretty much let you do what you want, because I think humans tend to be more complex than simple alignment as well. We all have good and bad, right, wrong, friendly, not so friendly, you know, bits about us. And it just makes sense to have that in your D&D campaigns as well, I think.
Free them from their bonds.
Did you notice that I was stuck by a web? Alright, got 7 seconds. Let's see. Even while stuck by a web, you can still lead the charge. I don't know that I noticed that before now. I believe that's true. I would actually, Yab-Sagoth, have to go back to the PAX panel to see if we had committed to a certain time frame for its release. I was not part of the PAX panel this year, so my information would be secondhand. But that said, I think they said Myth Drenor, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Angry Dave. I mean, you know, alignment, like much of D&D, and I can't obviously speak for the creators of the pen and paper game, but I think they would, in general, just having heard them speak over the decades, would generally agree with this, that, you know, Dungeons & Dragons tabletop particularly is a framework from which you build your own world and rules and all of this. So, you know, unless you're doing some kind of like formal adventurers league or something like that, you can pretty much do what you want. Whatever makes sense for you and your campaign here. Like Die, for example, towards the end of your live stream. Where'd Bulwark go? I left him behind. Ah. Sorry, Bulwark. I was yapping. Not paying attention to what I'm doing. Let me get back and do you and take care of this. Where did you go? I need to free pixies anyway. Why should you use Talvaret? You're probably right. Honestly, we're at the end of the stream here anyway, so I don't think I'm really going to get through the whole quest, but I'll finish it up off camera or later. Besides, I got pixies I need to talk to that I keep forgetting to talk to. Ah, nice. You'll be on vacation Monday. Cool, cool. And I do want to call out that if you are a live streamer or content creator and you're listening to my voice and being like, oh man, I really want to do those creator previews, how do I get in? Answer is, hit me up on probably easiest through the forums, but Twitter works as well. Those are probably the two best ways to get in touch with me. Forums is definitely the best way. And I'll take a look at your content, and assuming that you meet general quality and, say, profanity standards, that kind of thing, it's probably cool to have you in. So, oops. You know what? Let's just call it a show, since I died without my cleric here anyway. Alright, well, that is going to wrap it up. With Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDOstream, these shows get up on YouTube after the fact. And I'll see you next Friday with more. Hope you have a great weekend. Take advantage of that +10 Treasure Hunters boost. Stay tuned for our preview on Lamani on Monday. Take part if you're interested on our preview on Tuesday. We'll have a whole lot more about Myth Drenor here in the coming weeks. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you soon.